Good morning, everybody. We will get started here in just a couple minutes.
Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right.
Glad I didn't try and match you today with my blue shirt.
Got to throw you off.
You like to keep me guessing.
Yep. We got the whole picture. Century 21 represented.
That's right.
Beggins, the E3, got it all.
That we do. All right, I'm going to check one thing here in the app. Hold on one second. Ah, sweet. All right. So the app is working. I finally figured out how to stream it. So if you want to watch in the app without having to go into Zoom, you can do so now. I'll just have to make sure all the managers actually know how to start it on YouTube. So that'll be fun. I'll go over that with Craig today.
Pretty awesome, man. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It'll be on a slight delay more than likely, but
that's good because you never know what flies out of your mouth. Might have to mute it.
That's right. That's more for safety than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, look at the technology we have right now. We're sitting. It's just mind-boggling. The cool things that we have coming our way right now. It's just awesome.
I hope it's pretty crazy.
And I hope everyone's so thankful and grateful for this, just to be living in the times that we're living in right now, because they truly are unbelievable. The things there's no limit at all to what you can, whatever you can come up with, you can just get it done.
If you really think about timing and had this event happened 10 to 15 years ago, I don't think the real estate business could have survived in the way that not only have we survived, we thrived as of late, right? And I don't think that happens, even has a chance of happening 15 years ago when you don't have the communication you have now. Like, everyone wants to demonize social media because, you know, it fills us with all these bad thoughts and everything is so negative. But the reality is, at the same time, it's what allows us to communicate. It allows us to still know that the world is happening. It does allow us to see the good things that are happening, where before you were only at the mercy of whatever mainstream media wanted to show you. That was it. You had really no other option to know what was actually happening.
And you still got the negative, but it was limited to negative Nancy around the water cooler. So you only had that little dose of it. You had to physically be next to her to listen to her.
Right.
Now there's negative Nancy's from around the world to their little keyboard warriors can just knock it out. So it's fun. Yep. If you choose to allow to listen to them, it's up to you. All right, what are we hitting today? We got some awesome topics to hit today. I'm so super stoked about this.
Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen here. I think the first things first, we want to roll out Next Level University.
Drum roll, please.
We're extremely excited about this because I think when we first did the revamp on the last one where we created the 3 different days based on the level of business, that went over very well. I think agents, you guys liked it. However, we realized that there were still some restraints, right? There was still a full day. You had to basically attend the whole thing. And so we kind of went back to the drawing board and said, how can we make this even better and more convenient and really contextual to the people that are on there for every single piece of it? And so what we've done is essentially created just like, 121, where there's general sessions and then there's the individual sessions that are all on different topics. That's what we've done. So we've created over 15 different individual sessions that are an hour long that'll go over a 3-day period. The whole thing kind of does theme out where we have day 1, which is really just every session in day 1 is really about creating that need to go get the business, the mindset, creating the framework. Day 2 is how do we actually go get that business in all the different ways that are possible, and we dive into each of those. And then day 3 is actually how, now that we've created the mindset, we know we want it, now we know how to go get it. How do we actually close it and then keep that business coming in? And so, I'm extremely excited, and all of you can sign up today. So I am going to email out a link after today's class that'll put you directly into the page where you can sign up and register, because we still do need you to register. But what's going to happen is you're actually going to have the ability to register for individual sessions. So on day 1, you can go through the session list and say, you know what, I want to attend this one, I want to attend this one, I want to attend this one. So this way, now over the 3 days, you can attend what you want and don't attend what you don't want. And so it's completely contextual to you and your business and where you feel like you need help and where you don't. So I think this is a really exciting format. And then in addition to all of that, each session is going to be taught by 2 people. So you're going to get a little bit of a mixture, but we're also going to bring in the entire management team, which is something that we haven't really figured out how to effectively do over the last few next levels. This is actually going to do that. So you're going to have your entire management team throughout the 3 days, leading at least 1 or 2 sessions. And so they'll be accompanied with somebody else. So sometimes it'll be Jeff and Chris, and then Thomas and Chris, and so on and so forth. So extremely excited about the new format. I think it's going to work out really well. But I do want to share my screen real quick, and I'll just show you guys how you can sign up and how easy.
Before you do that, before you share it, I just want to just rewind for just a second, because let's go back to how this happens, right? Me and Craig and Mike and your managers and Kat and Thomas and Joe and everybody and Chris, our whole number 1 mission is how do we help you live a better life, right? That's really all we do. That's what we think about, because that's what our job, it's our business partner. And I think you got a pretty good one here, because you got a bunch of us all focused on what can we do. So when you look at this format that Puma's about to walk through, I mean, we did this to be super contextual and frictionless, because frankly, there's some of you that are never going to do FSBOs. Don't even listen to the FSBO class. Just ignore it. Pretend it doesn't even exist. Some of you don't like social. Don't even listen to it, right? And it just, that's how we did this, to make it just so super contextual, so stay in your lane, so simple, so easy that you could just focus in on a really nice business plan to figure out what you're going to do. So everybody needs to in my opinion, you're going to see the day 1 content. Day 1, I think, is a very, very critical, and it's universal for everybody, because it's how do we create that next level, that drive, that why, that reason, that something, right? Because it's missing from a lot of people right now, and all of us, myself included, we can crank it up a notch right now. And there's I'm telling you, there's a generational opportunity of interesting craziness, amazing opportunity happening right now, right? And between now and certainly the election, we're going to see weird things. We're going to see the financial policies totally get flipped on their heads. You're going to see buying opportunities like you've never seen before. I'm not talking about a market correction. I'm talking about money being thrown out there for people that just are going to buy. And the biggest issue we have right now, and I want to talk about this for a second before we jump into this, because at the core function of this whole next level 3 days is to get more inventory. Because here's what I'm tired of hearing. You guys saying there's not much to sell. you're right. Right. I was talking to a couple friends of mine. They're looking at houses. They're like, hey, is there anything good out there? We want to buy a 3 bedroom, 3+ bedroom house, something on the water, $1 million or something like that. There's not crap to buy. Right. And there's just there's nothing much to buy out there. And we can't just sit there and say, sorry, there's nothing else to buy right here. We got to wait for the inventory to pop up. No, we're not going to sit around and wait for inventory to pop up. We're going to go create inventory. We're going to go find those people that are thinking about selling their house. We're going to plant seed into people's minds that should be considering moving and upgrading or downsizing or just moving around. And we're going to show the compelling reasons why they need to just truly consider doing this one, because the real estate market is directly dependent on the activities of the real estate agents in that market. So if there's no inventory in Davis Islands right now, it's because the agents aren't doing their job in Davis Islands. There are people in there that life is happening to them that will be putting their house on the market that should know that right now is the time to put it on there, because there's no other 5 bedroom, 4 bath house on the market. They're going to get supply and demand on their favor. They're probably going to get somebody to pay more than it's really truly worth, right? Same thing in Riverview, same thing in Brandon, same thing in Cobia Cay, same thing in Reddington Shores, right? It's our fault there's no inventory out there. It's our fault, right? And we know how to fix it, and it's enough. We're not going to let this happen anymore. We're going to get those of you who want to truly engage, sharpen your skill sets, and get to work and get an extra 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 deals under your belt by the end of this year. These 3 days are going to be truly epic for that. And it's 100% about getting the mindset, the skill set, the accountability, and just taking action to get inventory to get to your life to that next level. So that's my little build up for this one, but it's all about inventory. It's all about inventory, and it's all about competence, confidence, and execution. So to that, let's go look at the agenda.
Yeah, and after we do this, we are going to dive into some tactical ways right now that you can go get listings. But to Jeff's point, that is what this is all about. So hold on 1 second. Share my screen here. There we go. All right, so like I said, I will send out a notice of this. Let's go to Beggins. Nope, sorry, B3 agents. Agents. I could type, that'd be awesome. .com.
You're going to get a link, so you don't worry about going here.
Yep, but just wanted to show you in case for some reason you do just want to go there now. You go to b3agents.com. You'll see at the top there's a banner that says click here to register for Next Level U. You could also click the hamburger menu, and it's the top one. And when you come to Next Level Virtual, we have the dates in here for you. So it is 7/20, 7/21, and 7/22. Like I said, you're going to be able to pick your sessions. Okay, so we go through kind of what the 3 days are about, and then you can start to look at, here's all the sessions that will be on Monday, 7/20, Tuesday, 7/21, and Wednesday, 7/22. So to sign up, you'll click Start Building Your Itinerary. You'll just put in your first name, last name, your email, and your phone. Obviously, you're with Beggins. And click Go to Step 2. And here is where you can actually build your itinerary. So all I have to do is scroll through and say, you know what, I want to attend this one. And if I hit Add Session, it'll automatically pull up the calendar invite. I've actually already accepted this one, so it's already on my calendar. But if I hadn't, let me go down to 1. So I could add that one to my calendar, scroll down. So you know what, I want to also attend this one. And you'll see there, add to calendar, boom, add it to calendar. And the way we've done this is, it does not matter what your main calendar is, whether you're on Google, whether you're on Android, or whether you're on Apple, doesn't matter. It'll work on any of your calendars. So when I click add to calendar, it'll ask me what calendar do I want to put it on. So for those of you that have multiple, I can just select the calendar I want, click done, and it's going to add that session to my calendar. So literally you go in and you add the ones you want and you skip the ones that you don't. And this way you're going to have those on your calendar in real time. Just you'll get notifications as the event arrives. And that way, you know, if you're attending the 11 to 12, but then you're not coming back to 3 to 4, cool. You know, that's completely up to you. So these are all the different sessions though that we have. And as you can see, you know, like we said, day one is all about mindset, right? So we start with just a general session that'll be led by Jeff and Craig. Then we get into mindset and how to achieve your goals. Then we get into our real estate, how to become disciplined and focused, creating a schedule. And then I'm going to do a social 101. So that is for folks that really are just getting started in social. I mean, we'll go as basic as how do I create my business page? How do I do? We're going to get very, very, very basic and keep it basic in social 101. Okay. Then the next day we start to getting into actually how do we find the business. So we'll start out with the law, science, and neutrality, get into creating an experience, client experience, how to create and distribute social content and actually prospect. And we're going to actually dive into some of that today. FSBO mastery and expires as well will be in there. How to leverage and use Remind, target, prospect, and engage, and how do you build a farm in geo-targeting. And then in that third day, we're actually going to focus on closing the business. So the listing process, mastering the scripts and handling the objections, the full listing presentation, the buyer presentation, and Craig is going to dive into how to write a contract and as well as negotiate a contract like a master. So 3 full days. These sessions are really good. If you have time to attend everything, attend everything. But we do want you to go in and add these sessions because we will be tracking how many people we have. Obviously, you know, we don't anticipate we'll hit the Zoom requirements, but they do cap out. So we do need to make sure that we've got room in there. And we also want to know the feedback, right? As Jeff said in the beginning, we're trying to constantly make things better for you. And if we see that one topic got a ton of traffic and the other one didn't, then we know that we need to modify it for next time. So it's as easy as that, though. This way you can literally sign up for what you want and what you don't. On desktop, it is a little bit different. Obviously, this is on my mobile phone. If you do it on desktop, the only difference is when you click add session, it'll actually download that calendar invite. So you'll click on the when it downloads, click on it, and then you can add it to your calendar from there. Okay, so easy as that. I will send out a direct link though, but again, b3agents.com. And I don't know if we've actually gone over this site. I sent out an email to everyone. So just real quick, this is replacing, this is essentially replacing Beggins3.com. So what we've done is I've gone in and basically created a web version of the mobile app. So everything that we would normally do, or everything that is now in the mobile app is also on here for you. So you can literally just scroll through, click what you want, and it's all in web form. Okay. And then same thing navigation wise, it's basically just like the app. So everything that is in the app is in here. And so we basically created a web version of the app for you guys. We had several agents ask for that. Okay.
Which is awesome. A couple things. Yes, we did change the date because we didn't have enough time to promote. And it originally was going to be the 13th. That only gave us 1 week after the holiday weekend. And so we wanted to give everybody a little more time for that. So that's why it's the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. What app do you suggest finding leads with phone numbers? I'll hit that just 1 second, Devon. We've got Remind is good, but Forewarned. If you guys aren't using Forewarned, it's a great program. It's through 21 Online through the Spark program. When you join Spark, it's that $49 a year thing, but it comes with a subscription to Forewarn. And that's basically a thing you just type in people's names and addresses, and it's kind of like a private pocket, private detective. And it will show you contacts for associated people and phone numbers and emails. And it's about probably 75% accurate. So it's really good to do that. Amanda, looks like good. Thanks for the new setup. Much easier to attend in these crazy COVID times. Yes. And we limited everything down to 1 hour because attention spans, and we're also going to record these things too. So they'll be accessible after we do that. So go in and start signing up, guys. It's going to be a great few days.
Yes.
We promise we're going to deliver some great content for you guys, for sure.
No question. All right. So you want to dive in now to can we go get some new listings?
Yeah.
Today?
I don't want to wait till then, guys, because there's a major problem right now. And it's a big problem. And we have to get inventory. And it's interesting because we're going to hit Remind for a second, and we're going to do this on purpose. And I want you guys to go deep into this thing, because when Mike and Courtney decide they're moving, right, and they go find another house in town, they didn't help the inventory situation at all, because an inventory popped up and they bought it. Now theirs came up and somebody else bought it. And so people are just kind of shifting inventory. There's no like new inventory out there. So Remind is full of people. I want to focus on a couple things right now. I want to talk about absentee owners, and I want to focus on absentee owners for today. I want non-homesteaded properties. Okay, non-homesteaded properties. And this is the whole point. They don't live here. When they sell their house, it brings in new inventory, because they're not probably moving to another house because they don't live in this one. They are most likely to be least connected to their property right now, because probably the majority of them haven't seen it in years, right? They're not going to jump on an airplane from Ohio right now to come down and see it, because it's just a risky move right now. If they were relying on rentals are questionable. They're back now, but are they back for a long time? You don't know. Are they going to shut down the beaches for 4th of July weekend? I don't know, right? Are they going to stop rentals again? I don't know. Are they going to keep restaurants? I don't know. The stock market going up or down 1,000 points today? I don't know, right? All of these question marks and uncertainty are a unique, interesting time where everybody's thinking and reevaluating and just kind of moving back and forth and figuring out what should I do. And then enter you into the equation of having a conversation with them and saying, hey, what's going on? It's Jeff, right? That's how it starts. I'm not saying, hey, have you ever thought about selling your home? I'm not scripty machine, right? I'm talking about being a human and saying, hey, Mr. Puma, it's Jeff Beggins. Look, I work your neighborhood. It's what I'm kind of really responsible for. And I focus in on your Meadow Point. And I noticed that you actually live in Fort Wayne, right? Indiana. How are things in Fort Wayne right now? I just wanted to touch base. I'm reaching out to all the absentee owners here, just checking on everybody and seeing what's going on in your world. You want me to check on your house? You want me to take a peek at your house? You have tenants in there. What's going on in your world? What can I do to help you? What can I do to bring some value? What can I do to be of service to you while you're there? And then just be quiet and just have a conversation, because if there's anything in interest, I might say, hey, how's the market, by the way? Interesting question, right? It depends on which market, right? It depends on the bedrooms and baths and price points and streets, and everything's supply and demand driven right now, but we're having an issue with certain markets right now. Why? Are you considering your options? Well, maybe what do you think my house is worth? I don't know. Let me find out, right? See how it evolves into that conversation, but it involved me reaching out to the guy who lives in Indiana and saying hi, because when that piece of property comes on the market, that solves our problem. And then we need to find another one and another one. Every one of us watching right now, go on to Remind and figure out who lives where, right? And do you have yours up?
Yeah, that's what I was pulling up here. Let me share my screen here on the desktop.
We're super simple and super tactical, guys. I don't want to do anything complicated because there's no reason to, right? And let's just go in and we're going to find out, type in your zip code, or type in a beach one because if you're going to, let me pause it, 33708, or use that zip code. If I'm going to go generate business, I have a choice as to which clicks I'm about to do, right? I've got a choice as to which area I'm going to use. I got a choice as to which price points I'm going to do. I have a choice as to which side of the street I'm going to focus in on. So if I am a business-minded mode right now and say, I want to get a check, but when I get a check, I want to have a check that's $10,000 or more rather than $2,000. It depends on where I'm about to check. You guys follow me? So this is, your time is money. And so where are you going to spend your time?
The thing I want to remind everyone of, though, is that unless you are relying on 100% referral business, right, where you're just working your past customers, then there is no reason to not be leveraging a tool. Because I get contacted all the time from a lot of you that are, hey, I want to run Facebook ads, or hey, I want to do this. And And that's great. I'm a big fan of those things, but only when it makes sense and when we've exhausted the low hanging fruit. And we have a system here that literally is giving you who is most likely to sell in your market, right? It's telling you. So to ignore that and to not take advantage of that is silly, right? They've literally taken the guesswork out of it. Now, is it 100%? Of course not. Is it better than starting from scratch and knowing nothing? Yes, right? So I don't care if you are wanting to do direct mail. I don't care if you're wanting to go figure out what doors you should knock on. I don't care if you're figuring out who you should cold call. It doesn't matter. I would start here because you're at least going to have some indication of who is more likely to do something sooner than later, right? So this is silly to not take advantage of this. So I think we've done a lot of training on this. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this or maybe using it, but for those of you that aren't, click search, and from here we can search really any location, anywhere we want. So what zip code did you want to do, Jeff?
Go do 33708, do Madeira Beach. This works for any one of them, but just let's go into absentee owners, medium to high sell score absentee owners.
Yep. So what you do is you search the zip code. Okay. So it's going to pull up and you'll see all these different pockets. And then if I want to take out, so the other thing you can do, if we're worried about property value, we can control the property value. Okay. That's one of our filters that we could do. So I could sort this out and figure that out. I can
do it. Do $500,000 and up. Let's start there.
Okay. So we'll just do 500,000 and click apply. Okay. So those numbers dropped, obviously, right? And so we're just going to keep dwindling down. So I could do sell score. So that's what Jeff's alluding to. And this is using algorithms to track who is more likely to do something than not. So I click apply and it's going to dwindle down even more. I'm actually going, just for purpose of this, I'm going to take the.
And if you don't have enough, change your parameters. But let's start. I wouldn't go to the $29,000 ones first.
Yeah, of course not.
And absentees, right? And absentee owners.
Oh, yep, absentee. And so we can control, again, who do we want? And so you can go just after absentee owners, okay? And again, in your area, if you don't have enough, and so I'm just going to zoom out real quick.
What zip code is that? It's 33. You got it.
If there's not enough,
335. But look at the zip code on your search bar. It's 33542.
Oh, hold on. 33708. So it should be this area right here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And so then the other thing you can do is if for some reason the sell score in that particular zip code, maybe it's just not picking enough up, X out of it and it will help. Okay. But again, you're controlling and getting exactly who you want. So now we have absentee owners in 33708.
Zoom to that bottom section where it says 11 of them, right? Let's just zoom in, just go closer.
If you click on it, it'll zoom in. And then you can zoom in even more, right? So these are different pockets. If I click on this, it's going to zoom in to these individual homes. And so you'll see 460, 640. So if I click on the 640,000, it's actually going to show me what it is. And so it's this one right here. And if I click on it, I can start to learn a little bit about this individual property. So it's obviously a condo.
This one's on the market. This one's active though.
That one is active. Hold on, let me get rid of that. Status. I want active. I was searching for active apparently. Hold on. Status. Off market. Perfect. There we go. So, see if that sell score now. That's why it was so few. Yeah, see now, so just to, I just want to demonstrate this. Just in this little pocket, right? If I take off our medium and our high sell score, look how much property we have to go off of, right? So this is all, these are all individual properties. So if I was shotgunning it.
So this is everybody who lives not here that owns a property.
Correct.
These are absentee owners.
This is all absentee owners that is off the market currently in 33708.
Okay, now that's too many because that's overwhelming. Make it out of state absentees instead of in-state absentees.
Well, the other way, you could cut it down that way, or you could cut it down by saying, you know what, I only want the absentee owners that are likely to do something. Click apply, and now watch. Boom. Now I'm getting somewhere. Right now, I only have a few to work from.
34 in that little spot.
34. So now if I click on this, right, it's this one right here. It's 14700 Gulf apartment 405. So if I click on that, I can start to learn a little bit something about who owns and what the situation is with this particular property. So I can see that the sell score is high, which tells me that this is someone that we absolutely should reach out to. And if I click up here, I've got associated people. So I know that Klaus Ressel owns it. I've got a cell phone number, right? So again, I now know that it's about 657,000. Maybe I want to do my own. They'll actually do a CMA for you. Maybe you still want to look at your own. And if you click on valuation, it'll show you kind of how they came up with it. Demographics, obviously, is demographics of the area more than anything. But now I can also look at the property history and see what's going on with it. Now there may not be much, right? So it didn't find much of that information on this particular property. That's okay. Sometimes you're going to get it, sometimes you're not. But I have a cell phone here for Klaus. I don't know. Maybe I should reach out. He's an absentee owner with a high sell score, so obviously something is going on in his world. And so would he not be worth a phone call today to figure out if his $660,000 property should come onto the market? He's owned it for 30 plus years. You think he has some equity in there? Probably.
So go back to the map for a second now. Now, single family houses I like even better because you can get a billboard out in front and out back because it's a sign. So if I've got a choice as to click one of these right now, I'm going to click one with blue behind it, right? Because it's on the water, which means it's probably going to be worth more. So if we're scouring around and see, okay, there's a house with a blue dot on the water, let's click on that one. I'm going to click on that one before I click on the other ones because, guys, I need 1 or 2 deals this month extra. That's it, right? So I don't need 34 of them. I need 1 or 2. So that's why I want to simplify this down. And now we're just really just doing a rifle approach rather than a shotgun approach. And we can do this. Now if you haven't watched Otis's classes, they're awesome. You could take that whole list of all the absentees and send a mailing to them all. That's great. That's passive. I'm talking about I need a deal by Friday. And this is hand-to-hand combat of who I'm actually going to talk to and go do that. So let's see, find a little waterfront one. Let's just go in and see because they're not all right.
Well, to Jeff's point, though, if you do want to single down to single family, you can, right? So I can come into building type and say, okay, I only want to see single family homes that meet this requirement. And that's perfectly fine too. So now it's going to do that. And so maybe I click on, hold on, adjusting. So this one would be interesting. Let's see what this one is. So off market on the canal there, but right on the corner, which is usually a pretty desirable spot. So let's learn a little bit about this property. Again, this is hand-to-hand combat. This takes time, right? But is this worth it compared to, I guess I'll just reach out to a bunch of people. I guess I'll just do a huge broad mailing? I guess I'll just, and hope. Or is it worth saying, you know what? No, I'm gonna sniper here, and I'm gonna come in exactly what I want and try and figure out who I should be calling today, who's worth more of my time. Okay. So sometimes you'll get this. You're going to get a bunch of different people, and that's okay too. The DNC, don't worry about that as much. That's only if you're going to be mass calling. So if you actually are calling one-on-one, you're actually not in violation of the DNC. But also, you can do some other research, right? So this is where you may want to figure out who Douglas Ronco is.
It looks like he's a tenant, because on the left there it says owned by David
you're right.
Erdlinson, but we don't have a phone number for David. So what are we going to do about David? How do we? I mean, oh, forget it. Let's go to another one. No, let's find this guy. It's worth it, guys. This is money.
So now we can go to Facebook, and so all I have to do is come back and see what do I have on him. All right, so I have his name, so I'm just going to copy that, so I don't have to worry about spelling Erlinson.
Go to tax records. Let's find out where he lives if we need to. The name might just work though. You might have to dig.
It could. Let's see. Let's see, property history. Just curious if it has anything in here. So he bought the house, looks like, for $250,000. Estimated is 333.
He just bought it last year.
Yeah, it looks like though he may have paid cash from what we can see here. There's no mortgage found on it. So he could have paid cash or didn't find it, right? All that's possible. But let's see if we can see if we can find him. Let's see if we can find any other information about him. Ownership status, no other information about.
Go to public records, see where he lives, where's home. Longwood, Florida.
Longwood, interesting. Okay, so let's go back to Facebook here and see. All right, and maybe you don't find him. It's possible, but be worth a shot, because if we can find them, let's just do this. No, didn't pull them up.
There, oh, no.
Right. Nope.
Let's go to Google. Guys, the more hurdles you have to jump through, the fewer competitors you have.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet most agents aren't going to take the time to find David. Okay. So this guy in Key West seems to be pretty prominent, because Florida. Let's see what we find. And the other option is, what's the app you're referring to? Can we search by
Forewarned? You have to be subscribed to it. You got to. I don't think you're a subscriber to it.
I'm not. No. But can you put in an address in that?
You could type in David Erlinson, Longwood, Florida, and it will find a list of people associated with him, and probably his and possibly email address. About 75% hit. Right now, some of you might say, "Screw it, next," and move on to the next one. Right? It's not worth it. Some of the high C's are going to say, "Ooh, challenge. Let me dig further." Or not.
So this is probably him. So this is the only one in Longwood, Florida.
Yep.
Right. So obviously I'm not a member of Spokio, so I don't know if it's actually going to give me, it won't give me his information. But this tells me that if we could find him in here, then we probably could find him in Forewarned.
Well, put in David Scott Erlinson in Facebook and just copy and paste that in there. Maybe it's, you never know how it goes.
It's true.
And now look, Look, see the relatives back there? This is just where my brain goes. Relatives, William, Susan, Richard, Carol, right? If I can't find David, I might find William or Susan and say, hey, I'm trying to reach David. I want to talk about his property in Madeira. Are you related to him? Right? It's just, how badly do you want a deal? How badly do you want a connection? Remember, it's $130,000 is the lifetime value of a connection with somebody here. And this one might just be more work than you want to do, then skip it, move to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is my farm, right, and I really want to get to know everybody, this is worth me spending a little bit of time because, hey, I got a guy who's got cash just threw down $250,000, doesn't even live here, right? That's somebody I'd like to know.
Yep. And sometimes
he's hard to find. Next, move on.
Yep. And sometimes you won't find them, but sometimes going to someplace like LinkedIn might help too, where you can, you know, and again, like I wouldn't just stop at one. Facebook's probably the first place I'd go, depending on the age. You know, 54, I doubt I'm going to find him, especially if he's not on Facebook. I doubt I'm going to find him on Instagram, right? But LinkedIn is another really interesting one to search people on, because a lot of times, just from a career perspective, they are on LinkedIn. So before we move on, I just want to
let's do it
here, just see if we can find them. And again, to Jeff's point, this may be worth more than what you're wanting to do, and that's fine, right? Sometimes you're going to get all the information you need right within Remine and not have to do anything else. But again, there are far less people that are going to be searching to this degree than there are in, you know, than someone they got all the information right there. So,
now, you just reminded me of something. When I was in the full throes of prospecting, getting listings myself, I had a book of the neighborhoods I was working in, and my job was to fill in the blanks on every person that lived in that neighborhood. So I would want to know David, and I want to know that he's married to Shirley, and I want to know, do they have kids? How old are their kids? What's their dog's name? Is it a poodle? Right? I mean, over time, so I have a book. I need to know everybody. We're actually doing a Happy Agent podcast today with Mike Reichenbach today. And for 15 years, they've worked 4 streets. They know everybody on that street, other streets. They know their kids. They know their dogs. They know what they do, right? So I'm not saying you need to do that. I'm just saying if you want to do that, then you need to be able to dig into things like this. Now, this can shave off a lot of years of hopefully catching him at a door just by hunting down and finding him. But forewarned is a good way to do this. So you see, you can go down a rabbit hole, and it's up to you whether or not it's
to
you. Now, if this wasn't expired, that an unconditional withdrawn, and I have something going on that this guy really wants to sell, I might spend some more time. I'm gonna find him, right? I'll find his relatives. I'll find somebody that knows this person.
Well, the other thing I'd be curious of, hold on one second. I wonder if you search, let me go back here. Curious real quick. Research his home address if we get anything additional. Let's see what Remine comes back with. But you know, you can dive into something as deep or as light as you want, right? This is just one way to do it. But again, I still believe that the harder you have to search for something like this, the better the reward is going to be, because I think a lot of agents will just stop. They're not going to do it. Oh, this isn't worth my time. Well, you know, that's a personal decision, but I feel like if you're willing to put in the extra effort here to find this guy, then it could pay off.
And here's why it's I mean, if this is my farm or an area that I want business in, the algorithms don't lie. There's something going on in this person's lives that had them pop up, right? And the algorithm's deep, and I don't know all of it. You don't know all of it, but I know that there's something going on. Credit cards are changing limits. Legal filings are happening. something's going on. Search criteria is happening. Maybe they're on realtor.com all the time. Who knows what's going on? But for
Correct.
something, he raised his world enough to find out what's going on with him.
Yep.
All right, so
yeah, it's just taking forever here.
this is the glamorous side of the business is what we're doing now. But this is real life, guys. We need inventory, and we need it in this street, and we need it in this town. And so this is what your job is.
Right. So it's how bad are you willing to go do it? So let's just see if it's got any additional information. And it doesn't look like it. But I do have, so we know that that was the right person that we did find because Carol was listed in the other thing, right?
Yep.
As of being a family member. So if I really, really, really wanted to find David,
I'm calling Carol.
I'm calling
Hey,
Carol.
Carol.
And hey,
Carol,
Go
Jeff Beggins, Century 21. Hey, listen, I'm trying to reach Dave Erlinson. He's got a property here in Madeira Beach, and I live right down the street from him. I'm really just trying to see, and I was doing a search and your number came up. Are you related with him? Do you know how I can get in touch with David? That's it. Right? Why? Well, my job is to, I really work this neighborhood. I've never had a chance to meet him. I noticed that you guys live in Longwood. You're not really here. I'm kind of reaching out to all the absentee owners and making sure that I'm of service. I want nothing from him. I just want to kind of check on it. Oh, you're his wife? Oh, you're his daughter? Oh, cool. What are you guys doing? How long have you had this place? Oh, wow. Do you guys come here often? How now? Oh, you like to fish? What do you like to fish for? That's cool. Oh, yeah. Right. And then you start to connect. Then it's the V, it's the A, it's the K, it's the D, ISC. It's the 7 seconds. It's the mirror matching. It's the connection. All right. Because people like people who are like themselves. People trust people who are like themselves. So Carol and I are going to become buddies because Carol has something I want. What's this Carol have that I want? I want David's freaking phone number, right? And Carol, I'm not gonna say, hey, Carol, give me David's phone number. Click, right? I'm gonna have to build a little bit of trust rapport. Know that I'm not trying to take advantage of anybody. I'm not trying to do anything to anybody. I'm trying to reach and find out what's going on in David's life to see what I could do to be of service because this property he bought is worth more than he paid for it. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but the world got flipped upside down on its face in the last few months. And David's world might have too. Right? He might be kicking himself in the butt for buying a vacation property in Madeira Beach right now because he couldn't rent it out for the last 3 months and his mortgage company is still charging him payments, or he doesn't have one, but he's got trapped cash of 250 that might be worth now 350. So what else could he might be thinking about doing with that 300,000 bucks that I could free up for him? Or maybe he's super loaded and is trying to buy up the house next door so he can build a really nice house one day. I don't know. But until Carol feels comfortable enough with me to release that phone number, I'm never going to know. Now, we spent 10 minutes on this one, but that's a good use of time if I want Parsley Drive to be where I'm actually focusing in on, right? That's the point, guys. How badly do you want to do that? That extra step that Puma did, release Carol, and that will get us to David. I love it. I love doing this one because it's never just as easy as point, click, and go. So I don't want anybody to think it's 100% accurate all the time, but guys, it's what happens.
No, it certainly isn't. But I also just really quick want to show this is for so much more than just an absentee owner. If I was in Apollo Beach right now, and I'd want you to drill down even more than this. But if I just search 33572, if I'm working and farming in 33572, if I'm working Apollo Beach as an example, and I pull this up and I see, okay, there are, what does this show? 806 results, okay? With a medium to high sell score in Apollo Beach. So I've already taken the entire Apollo Beach area and I've already dwindled this down to the 806 people that I should talk to first, okay? Now, obviously, as an agent of one, the likelihood of you being able to get to 806 people in a timely manner is not realistic, okay? Now, if I was going to do mailers, then I would certainly be pulling these folks, this list of 806, and be focusing my mailers to them. But again, that's more of a shotgun approach. It's an approach, and it's better than mailing 2,000, right? That are going to everyone, but it's still not the best. So now what I can do though is, let's say this is my pocket. I drill in and I say, okay, here's 373. All right, but that's still a lot. I'm still at 671 total homes in here. Okay, how can I dwindle this down? Well, I need to hold my property line. So I don't want anything that is under 300,000. Okay, so now I click apply and I'm going to dwindle this down. So 671 is going to dwindle to, see what we get, to 109. Now I'm getting somewhere, right?
You get all of these this week.
Yeah, so now I'm in a manageable place. And if I'm just looking at this from pure number perspective, if I talk to 100, this industry, all 109 people today, or text one-on-one, or took the time to go find these people, or I should say, and message them on Facebook, Instagram, or wherever you could find them. If you've reached out to 109 people, how many real estate conversations do you think you'd start to have this week? I mean, you know better than anyone, right? What's it like? How many deals do you think are sitting in this 109 people? 10? Right? Yeah. I mean, that's reality. Maybe more. But even at 10% of these people do something, that's 10 deals that are sitting out there, right? So not doing this is ludicrous. And then being able to just click in and say, you know what? All right, let me dive in. Yep, I like this area. I know this area. I've sold other homes in this area. Let me dive into this area in particular because I know it and I feel comfortable with it and I can bring it. So let me go click on this individual here and see what I can learn about it. Okay, or maybe I want this one. Medium sells for. And it's on, it's in the area that I know, and I've sold other homes there, and I'm comfortable there, and I know what to say, and I know, that if they ask me, have you sold anything here, I can say yes, and so I'm going to be confident. And I click in, and I learn a little bit something about this particular property, right? And I go down to the associated people, and again, this is just the process to say, all right, these are my owners. Let me reach out. Yeah, I mean, so guys, you see the game, right? It's the same game. I just want to show beyond just absentee owners. I think if you living in along the coastline right now, absentee owners, and really anywhere, absentee owners are a great place, but especially in the beach because there's a lot of people who were relying on that rental income to survive, and they may not be able to do it anymore. But you may be able to bring a lot of value to them because of the fact that their house is valuable right now, and so they can get out from underneath of it and not lose their shirt, right? So that's a great market. But this can be used for anything. This can be used to build your farm. And so realistically, I don't care what your strategy is. Even if you said, well, I'm a social person, great. Then I would come in here and that original list of 809, and we've done a screen share on this, I'm going to save that search. I'm going to export all 809. And then I'm going to load that into Facebook as a custom audience, which we did a class on. And then I'm going to target and run ads to those 809. If you told me you're going to door knock, I'm going to dwindle this down. And the first 109 doors that I knock on are these 109 doors right here. Or if this is my farm, these 36 doors are the first 36 doors I'm going to knock on, right? So if you're going to cold call, if you're going to send mailers, I think you guys see, I don't care what your lane is and your ultimate execution of strategy is, to not do this along with it is ludicrous, because this is at least going to save you some time and extra effort. And so I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is where prospecting should begin.
The issue, guys, is we need inventory. And I can promise you anything you get as inventory is going to sell. And it's increasingly going to be that way for the next few months, which is all we're focusing on right now. Then just do it. So if you don't have inventory, if those of you who are watching right now, if you don't have 3 or 4 listings right now, you need inventory. So this is a simple, tactical, hands-on, simple approach on how to actually go get a couple of signs up. And that's it. And so competence, confidence, that you just start the conversation. There's no magic words, right? We have this little logo right here over my shoulder means that you know what you're doing, right? Just the fact that you work here, right? No, you know what you're doing. They're hiring all of us. So just get out there and talk to them. Just have a conversation and say, what's going on in your world? How can we help you? Is there even a remote inkling of a hypothetical thought about maybe possibly selling your house? We have a major problem right now. And I'd certainly love to talk with you. If you were to move again, where would you go next? And go back to the scripts. When do you plan on moving on? Just where'd you move from? How'd you have your things there? If you were to move again, where would you go next? When would that be? Your probably curious for properties work today's market actually. Let me come back for market us. You never know what's gonna happen in the future. You can buy today at 2 or tomorrow at 3, which was better for you, right? You got to have these words here so you can just spit them out, right? That's the point. If you can't do that, you need to get some practice on your scripts there.
Well,
right?
but that's where the app comes in, right? So we made it stupid easy, guys.
Yes.
You can literally go today, open up the app, click the audio scripts. Every single one of these scripts, all the prospecting scripts, the objection scripts, everything is in there. Click play. You can even close the app. It will sit there and play like a podcast, and you can go about and start doing your searching. So you can do your research while you're listening to the scripts and practicing them, right? Now, if you suck at multitasking, that's fine. Then stay focused, and maybe you want to open up the written scripts while the audio script is playing, because we say it all the time. It's important. Step one is you have to know what to say. Step two is you have to know how to say it, right? And both are very important, which is why we have the written scripts in there, which tells you what to say. And then the audio scripts is just recording and Craig's role playing them, which is how to say them, right? So both of those aspects are important, but you could, and you have the tools available to you today to go do this. It's just a matter of whether or not you are going to. And so I don't know. I think from a prospecting perspective, this is where I would start. Even if I was focused on for sale by owners, you go in Zillow, you find the for sale by owners. Next thing I might do is come here and just learn a little bit about them first, learn a little bit about the property, because Zillow is going to give you their contact information, right? You're going to have their phone number, you're going to have their name, obviously the address. But now I take that address, I come in here and I put it in here. Now I get to learn a little bit more about them, or at least have the potential to. How long have they owned it? Is there a mortgage showing on there? What is the comp saying on here? Not that it's 100% accurate, but it gives me a good idea. And if I really wanted to, I could click that CMA button, and it actually gives you a nice CMA on that property. So now I have a good reason to reach out to them. Hey, saw you're trying to sell your house yourself. Congrats. Or if you want to use the for sale by owner guide we've created, do that. Right. But now I have, again, I just have these extra tools in my tool bag. So if you want to use them, right? But I think from a prospecting perspective, we started this out saying we need inventory. This is a great place to start.
Love it. Love it. I don't think we'll just stop there. I think that was super, super easy, tactical. And guys, watch this again. I'll be posted if you need to. Go back and search in the app. Hey, Puma, just for fun, can you search just to show, if I wanted to watch a Remind screen share, where would I go for it right now?
So if you want to watch Remind, you have a couple options. You can go into the app and watch it in there. So I'll show you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, watch this, guys. This is how we're working to make this so simple for you guys. It's your new Netflix. He's on mute. You're on mute, by the way, Mike. He's muted. He's probably talking in the background. Microphone's muted and his video is stopped.
Can you hear me?
Now we got you. Yep.
Weird. I don't know why I did that.
Yep.
Super weird. Okay. You can still hear me?
Yep. Now we got you.
Okay. I don't know why it muted me. Okay. So the app obviously is one way to do it. And you can come in here. So this CRM, actually, this video here, this for sale by owner listing, all of this stuff, the expireds, this all goes in screen shares with Remind. So there's a bunch of stuff. This direct mail actually here is about Remind and how to use Remind, how to find people, and then use and export the list. So that's all about Remind. The other option you have is, and this works on desktop too, is on here, right, which is b3agents.com. If I come into tactical content here, I can come down and I can search in here. So let's just say, I'll just do real estate marketing example. And if I search in here and do Remind, these are all videos that reference Remind, okay? So I can come in and I can do that. We go through how to use Remind for sale by owners. And again, same thing that's in this app. All of these videos here, this whole section here is all about Remind. So this is, this is how you can find it. And then again, with the audio scripts, guys, they're right here for you. I click on this. This is all the scripts. Come back out. This is all your scripts right here. We've got prospecting in here. We've got equity in your farm. You don't have a sales list or any listing in my area, how to overcome that. Like this is, it's all in here. Prospecting for preview, prospecting for sell by owner script, proof, all of it. Okay, so come just use this as a resource. The training, once we post this today, it will be in here under the Marketing Monday. So I don't know. It's all here for you guys, but you gotta want to use it.
Hit your link when it comes out and register for your classes, guys, and save the dates, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of July. A few weeks from now, we are having an awesome 3 days. So sign up and get going. But in the meantime, we don't want to wait. Go get some inventory. Let us know. Reach out to any of your managers. Reach out to any of us. We'll help you get listings, guys. That's the name of the game. So thank you for watching.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.